Good afternoon and welcome to the State of the University Address as sponsored by your Academic Senate. I want to thank you all for being here, and I would especially like to thank our sign language interpreter, Ms. Maggie Snell. Thank you. I'm Dan Holland from the Physics Department, and I am currently the chair of your Academic Senate. And for those of you who are new to ISU or have not been involved with the Senate, it's the primary governing body at Illinois State University, and it allows for the participation in shared governance by all of the various stakeholders. That would include students, civil service, AP, faculty, and faculty associates. Any member of the academic community may bring issues of concern to the Senate by contacting the Senate office through an appropriate Senate committee or an individual senator. And always my plug here at this time of year, there are lots and lots of opportunities available to serve either on the Senate or one of its many external committees. I'm really happy this year. We have very good participation, but we can always find something for you to do. Let's see. And faculty members, while I have a large captive audience, I want to bring to your attention an issue that's going on right now. The ASPT document is currently under its 5-year review, and the URC has done an outstanding job in revising the document, but as always, there are points that are open to debate. I know that the URC debated them heavily. I strongly urge everyone to look over the proposed changes and contact your senator with your thoughts on it. You can find the documents either on the provost website or the academic website. Now, good news. I read this morning that the recession ended a year ago. As such, I am fully anticipating that the president will report that all of our financial difficulties are over and money will be flowing from the state once again. Okay. Even though the times may still be challenging, ISU does continue to make strides. While preparing for this introduction today, I took a look through last year's ISU reports, and it's really inspiring to see even a brief overview of what we've accomplished together. A few of the highlights, for the 6th straight time, we've made Kiplinger's Personal Finance magazine's 100 Best Values in Public Colleges. We continue to improve our standing in U.S. News and World Report's ranking of best national universities. For the 2nd year in a row, ISU was named a Tree Campus USA. And as a testimony to the overall quality of life at ISU, Bloomington Normal was recently ranked in the top 75 best college towns in America by the American Institute of Economic Research. For those keeping track, we are 15th in college towns under 250,000 people. And let's not forget, Snoop Dogg came. All right, now, as is the custom, President Bowman will speak for approximately 20 minutes, or 30, or 40, whatever. Always very entertaining. And after that, the floor will be open for questions. And following the address, please join us for a reception in the lobby. It is now my pleasure to introduce the 17th President of Illinois State University, Dr. Al Bowman.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your attendance this afternoon. No, Dan, I will not speak longer than 45 minutes. My wife has to do a review for her class for an exam on Thursday, so I have to be done by 2:45. Before I begin, I'd like to introduce a few people in the audience. We have 2 trustees with us today, Joanne Maitland and Betty Kinzer. Would you please stand? And from the 88th District, Representative Dan Brady. Our former board chair, Bill Selaski, who served as the inaugural Board of Trustees chair when the board was established in 1996. Bill? And the most patient human being on the planet, as he's been trying to teach me how to play golf. And President Emeritus David Strand. David, would you please stand? Thanks for being here, David. Finally, my wife, Linda Bowman. This is the 8th time that I've had the privilege of delivering the State of the University address, and when I mentioned that to someone yesterday, they looked at me as though I couldn't add. And I said, no, when I started this job, our children were 9 and 13, and now one is ready to graduate from college, Illinois State, and the other one will be graduating from high school. So it has been 8 addresses. This address, though, is quite different than the others, and I had took a lot of pleasure in putting it together. Had a lot of help, and I'd like to acknowledge my trusty assistant, Jay Groves, as well as the vice presidents, the deans, department chairs, and directors who delivered a great deal of information to us that we've included in the speech today. The loudest applause, though, should be and has to be for the students, faculty, and staff across this campus who are doing the kind of work that leads to prominence and national recognition. On almost every measure, the 2009-2010 academic year at Illinois State was an excellent one. Unfortunately, a remarkable year on our campus was overshadowed in many ways by the tide of grim economic news facing Illinois and its impact on all public universities. Clearly, we share many of the same challenges faced by every public four-year university in the state: a 6% fiscal year cut in state funding, a lack of capital investment, downgraded bond ratings, and the constant struggle to keep tuition affordable while providing access to those who need it the most. While we all face the same issues, Illinois State University has responded in ways that make us different. I'd like to spend a few minutes this afternoon talking about why I believe the state of Illinois State University is unique from the perspectives of finance, academics, students, and facilities. Illinois State University began this fiscal year with a state appropriation of about $80 million, about $5 million less than our FY10 state budget. Today, just 22.9% of our operational funding comes from the state of Illinois. It is unlikely that we will receive any of this fiscal year's appropriation before the November election, and that is a conservative estimate. It's possible we may not receive any FY 2011 state funds before January. Still, there's positive news because Illinois State is in a unique position financially. First, our institutional debt is low. Debt works here in much the same way it works in your family. Select an affordable home with a favorable interest rate, avoid high-interest borrowing for luxuries, plan wisely, and spend prudently. With those principles in mind, we have borrowed less than many institutions, and of course, we owe less. Meanwhile, we're addressing our most critical maintenance needs by putting off other big-ticket purchases that rely on state resources as long as possible. We're also unique in that our alternative revenue streams are stronger than at many other institutions. For the fiscal year 2010, Illinois State was awarded more than $21.3 million in grants and contracts, a $3 million increase over the previous year. We're also unique in terms of private fundraising. While many institutions have seen dramatic drops in private giving, the culture of philanthropy is growing stronger at Illinois State. For the fiscal year that ended June the 30th, Illinois State University Foundation raised more than $13.25 million in gifts from alumni, friends, and university stakeholders. Our endowment fund now stands at nearly $75 million. Of course, after yesterday, we're up a bit, right, Renee? Last year, we distributed more than $2.3 million to departments across the campus. Many of you in this audience, along with faculty, staff members, and retirees, participated in the Gladly We Give campaign. Last year, we saw a 3% increase in the number of faculty, staff, and retirees who contributed through the Gladly We Give, and I'm grateful to many of you who've chosen to invest in the future of your university home. Next, we're unique in our popularity among prospective students. While many institutions scrambled to meet enrollment targets, and while some failed, Illinois State remains a top choice university. Once again this year, we reached the 14,000 application plateau without sacrificing student achievement. I'll have more on the quality of our students in just a moment, but in a financial climate that forces universities to be more dependent on tuition revenue than ever before, quantity is also important. I remain committed to an Illinois State enrollment of between 20 and 21,000 students. That population ensures smaller class sizes, a lower faculty-to-student ratio, and more academically talented students. But it's critical that we do not allow enrollments to slip below that level. Chronicle of Higher Education estimates that in 10 years, 6,000 fewer students will graduate from Illinois high schools than will graduate this coming spring. That means greater competition for both public and private universities as institutions compete for market position by shaping their enrollment profiles. To maintain our current strong numbers of highly qualified students, Illinois State must maintain and even strengthen its position in student recruitment. We must prioritize scarce resources, creating more financial incentives for students to attend. We must also remain committed to being the best in teaching, research, and service. The days of dynamic state support for public higher education are in the distant past. The vitality of our complementary revenue streams, tuition, grants, and private fundraising will make an even bigger difference between surviving and thriving. So far, our efforts have been commendable. While we've raised tuition significantly over the last decade, our costs remain in line with peer universities. Our efforts continue to earn external validation from sources such as Kiplinger's Personal Finance, which for 6 years has ranked Illinois State among the top 100 public universities for quality and value. We also have made significant gains in the receipt of grants and private gifts. These funding streams have helped enhance scholarships, academic and support programs, and facilities. They have also allowed us to forego layoffs and furlough days. And while I must maintain an administrative hiring freeze on new positions, I'm pleased to announce that this fall we have 733 tenured and tenure-track faculty, representing a 5.6% increase over the fall of 2009. Our funding streams have also assisted in the investment in our most important resources, you. This year, we were able to allocate resources for merit-based salary increases for non-negotiated faculty and staff members. For our negotiated employees who have completed bargaining agreements, salary increases are also part of your contracts. Although these salary adjustments are modest, they are increases and they are intended to send a strong message, and that message is one of commitment, even during depressed economic times. And I think that is something that also makes us unique. The commitment of our faculty and staff members and the quality of our academic and support programs is another unique characteristic of Illinois State. Your talents in teaching, research, and public service have created an environment unlike any other institution in this state. A few examples. Business Week magazine has once again ranked Illinois State's College of Business as one of the country's best undergraduate business schools. Illinois State is listed among the top 100 schools nationwide and as the third highest ranking undergraduate business school in the state of Illinois. Darrell Kruger, Associate Dean for Research, Graduate and International Studies in Illinois State's College of Education, has been named an American Council on Education Fellow for the 2010-11 academic year. Dr. Kruger is one of just 46 ACE Fellows chosen nationwide this year for this prestigious program. In the College of Arts and Sciences, chemistry professor Gregory Ferentz was named the 2009 Illinois Professor of the Year. The U.S. Professors of the Year program selects just one statewide undergraduate instructor who excels in teaching and mentoring. Graduates of the Mennonite College of Nursing achieved a 100% pass rate on the National Nursing Licensure Exam in 2009. The statewide pass rate is 91%, and the national pass rate is 88%. College of Applied Science and Technology faculty members are part of Illinois State's Export Project, which helps Illinois-based businesses expand into overseas markets. Last year, the Export Project received federal funding to support their work with agricultural equipment and technology firms, Dickey John and Brandt Consolidated, and the paint manufacturer Rust-Oleum Corporation. If you visit the Library of Congress website, you will notice Milner Library on its Teaching with Primary Sources member showcase. Milner was part of the pilot program in 2004, which offers an educational consortium of schools, universities, libraries, and foundations to help teachers use the library's vast collection of digitized primary sources to enhance their classroom instruction. College of Fine Arts and the School of Theater are celebrating 40 years in 2010-2011. In that time, the college has produced some of the finest artists, actors, musicians, and arts technology experts in the world. Government and business organizations statewide are seeking more partnerships with the university. Governor Pat Quinn recently visited Illinois State to announce the launch of a nearly $100 million project to bring broadband service to underserved schools, hospitals, and businesses in 55 Illinois counties. The project will create more than 650 jobs and construct more than 1,000 new miles of high-speed fiber optic broadband infrastructure. The project, made possible by state, federal, and private funding, is the work of the Illinois Broadband Opportunity Partnership, a statewide consortium of public and private sector partners led by Illinois State University and the Illinois Department of Central Management Services. Upon completion, the expanded broadband network will serve more than 285,000 businesses and nearly 4 million households. These are just a few points of pride among the literally hundreds you can find across Illinois State. I know that our busy schedules don't often allow us the time to absorb all the university's vast resources, but I hope you can take the time to appreciate this grand enterprise by reading our many publications or clicking departmental and divisional websites. Our new link, I hope you've noticed, on the Illinois State homepage is our diversity link. The link takes you to the many offices and programs Illinois State offers to make our campus a more welcoming environment, featuring areas on academic study and support, administrative offices and policies, accessibility, community resources, and student service. You'll also see our newest electronic newsletter called Identity, Valuing Our Diversity, which celebrates the multicultural accomplishments of our faculty and staff members. The core mission of Illinois State University is the education of our students, teaching, mentoring, and nurturing preparing each to be engaged and successful participants in a competitive and diverse society. Because of our growing reputation, we are attracting a unique blend of students who are ready to meet the challenges we offer. This year's class is a great example. For the fall 2010, Illinois State enrolled a new freshman class that totaled 3,190 students. Once again, their ACT average tops 24. More than 400 of those new freshmen scored an ACT composite of 28 or above, and 141 scored 30 or above. Their GPA averaged 3.38 on a 4.0 scale. The quantity and quality of students from underrepresented groups also remained strong, with an enrollment of 2,724. Illinois State's ability to attract academically motivated minds is equaled by our commitment to retain and graduate our students. Illinois State's retention rate this year equals our historic high of 85%, and our graduation rate has reached another record high, 70.4%. How about that? Thank you. These kinds of numbers rank us second in the state among the public universities and make Illinois State even more selective than many Big Ten institutions. To show you how dramatically student academic quality has improved in just the last 10 years at Illinois State, here's a brief comparison. In the year 2000, the incoming freshman ACT average was 22.7. Today, it remains above 24. In addition, this year, almost 29% of our incoming freshmen scored 26 or above on the ACT, while in the year 2000, it was just 17%. Our graduation rate in the year 2000 was 64%, so we have jumped 6% in just the last decade. Our freshman to sophomore retention rate has also risen a half dozen points since the year 2000. Retention and graduation rates for students from underrepresented groups have also risen significantly over the last decade. These quality students are drawn to Illinois State because of the reputation earned by our faculty and staff members, a reputation that is communicated through a coordinated series of high-quality programs and publications. Our admissions staff members take the Illinois State story to literally hundreds of communities and thousands of students and families. We offer application workshops at high schools. We hold campus open house sessions and welcome students from diverse backgrounds through initiatives such as You Can Do ISU, a program that has grown by 5 times in just 3 years. Our faculty, administrators, and upperclassmen help through personal interactions, phone calls, and emails. High school guidance counselors, prospective students, and their families appreciate our user-friendly publications and websites. Our admissions office has a strong presence in social media, including Facebook and Twitter. Our ability to recruit, retain, and graduate high-achieving students is about quality, but it's also about money. As we move through this decade, maintaining access and affordability for all students will become an even bigger challenge. This year, Illinois State University awarded more than 50 merit-based scholarships to new freshmen through the Presidential and University Scholars Program. More than 600 students were assisted through scholarship programs funded by gifts to the Illinois State Foundation. Meanwhile, more than 20% of our students receive need-based assistance through the state's Monetary Awards Program, or MAP. This year, more than 4,000 Illinois State students will receive nearly $16 million from the state-funded MAP program. For about 1,600 of our students, their MAP grants won't be enough, and Illinois State will supplement those grants with more than $7 million of university resources. I'm also pleased to note that our Federal Student Support Services TRIO grant was renewed in August for a total of $1.3 million over the next 5 years. These funds serve low-income and first-generation college students. In the coming years, we must make it an even greater priority to provide more financial resources to all of our students. That is why I'm announcing to you today that beginning with next year's class, we will commit an additional $500,000 annually for merit-based scholarships for academically talented incoming students. This is an important step that I know will make us even more competitive than we are today. At Illinois State, our students have demonstrated that it's an investment that yields high returns. Here are just a few examples. Matthew Ware is the recipient of a 2010-2011 Barry Goldwater Scholarship, one of fewer than 300 students across the nation to win this prestigious award. Matt, who is right here from the Twin Cities, is a sophomore majoring in physics with a 4.0 grade point average. Matt is part of our Outstanding Honors Program, and he is also a Presidential Scholar. Here's one more. Emily Burns, a senior actuarial science major and student in the Honors Program, is the winner of the 2010 John Culver Woody Scholarship from the Actuarial Science Foundation. These scholarships are awarded to only a handful of graduating actuarial students around the globe. Emily is the 5th Illinois State University student in the past 6 years to receive the award, a record that has only been matched by one other university in the world. Matt couldn't be with us here today because he's in Hong Kong, but Emily is able to join us. And Emily, would you please stand and be recognized? Thanks for being here, Emily. Our students are unique in the classroom and in the research lab, and they're also unique in their passion for co-curricular activities. Partnering with Illinois Wesleyan University, the Illinois State Habitat Humanities Student Chapter was honored as the Campus Chapter of the Year from among 500 campus chapters across the country. Our students also give of themselves through programs like Alternative Breaks, where they travel not to Daytona Beach, but to poverty disaster-stricken areas all over the world to assist people in need. Our students participate in the American Democracy Project, and I've witnessed for myself that they are uniquely interested in the state and national elections that are just over a month away. In our residence halls, many students live in what are called themed living learning communities. It's a way for students with similar passions to work, live, and share their interests. Those spaces now include the creation of a leadership and service living learning community. I also want to recognize one of the most visible student groups on our campus, our student athletes. For the second time in 3 years, the Illinois State Athletics Department captured the Missouri Valley Conference All-Sports Trophy. The Redbirds have finished in the top 5 of the Valley's all-sports race for 28 straight years and have finished first, second, or third in the Valley All-Sports Trophy standings in 18 of the past 20 seasons. For the 3rd straight year, Illinois State finished in the top 5 in 16 of our 17 sports, the highest percentage of top 5 finishers in league history. Baseball recorded a banner year as Illinois State won the regular season Missouri Valley Conference Championship for the first time ever and matched that effort by winning the Valley Tournament title. Baseball team wasn't the only Redbird spring sport to advance to the NCAAs, as the Redbird softball team made its 3rd NCAA tournament trip in the last 5 seasons. Redbird track and field team also had 2 freshmen advance to the NCAA tournament in Tim Glover and Brittany Smith. At the end of June, Smith also went on to win the shot put competition at the 2010 USA Junior Outdoor Track and Field Championships and completed in the World Junior Championships. ISU Athletics has posted a 3.0 grade point average in 6 of the last 7 semesters, including a record 3.13 department-wide average during the fall 29 semester. In addition, in each of the past 5 years, ISU student athletes have contributed more than 2,000 hours of community service to the Bloomington-Normal area, including a school record 3,500 hours in 09-2010. Meanwhile, the university is beginning a 9-month self-study for recertification by the NCAA. This is a campus-wide initiative which will culminate in a site visit by the NCAA in the fall of 2011. Through this important project, the university will conduct a thorough and critical self-analysis of intercollegiate athletics at Illinois State. The process is designed to identify strengths and areas for improvement in the athletics department and to develop plans for improving the quality of the programs that assist our student athletes. To serve our students, faculty, staff members, and friends, Illinois State has found unique ways to construct new buildings and upgrade existing facilities. Let's not kid ourselves. While some of our facilities are unique, they're not all quite this nice. Some need to be demolished and rebuilt. Still, we're making a strong effort, and we are making good progress. During last year's State of the University message, I asked our vice presidents to lead a university-wide effort to update the campus master plan. A draft of our shared plan for the future development of Illinois State is available online for review and comment. The master plan, which covers the years 2010 to 2030, contains 65 recommendations for future physical development of the campus and is the result of extensive university and local community feedback and consultation. As the master planning process moves forward, signs of current progress can be seen across campus and even beyond our boundaries. With anticipated growth in student enrollment, the Mennonite College of Nursing will undergo an expansion of instructional space. Currently housed in Edwards Hall and the Professional Development Building, new space options were developed to increase and enhance the academic opportunities in the nursing program. A new structure will be located at the corner of Locust Street and Normal Avenue, where an existing modular facility office building now stands. Beginning next fall, the facility will house graduate, undergraduate assessment labs, classroom, patient simulation areas, and offices. The state-funded life safety improvements in Stevenson and Turner halls and the Stevenson-Turner infrastructure enhancement are finally finished. I never thought I'd get to say that. I'm sure the people that lived through the construction thought we'd never get to say that. With the completion of these state-funded projects, Stevenson and Turner halls have upgraded life safety, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems, as well as new curtain walls, windows, entrances, and restrooms. State capital funding has been approved for our highest academic facility priority, the Fine Arts Complex. We await the release of initial funding for that project so that planning can begin in earnest. In less than 4 months, though, we will open Illinois State's new Student Fitness Center, which will also serve as home to the School of Kinesiology and Recreation, as well as the Health Promotion and Wellness Office. This magnificent facility would not have been possible without the vision and commitment of our students, who voted to raise their own fees to help pay the building's $50 million price tag. The center also showcases a successful collaboration of a number of university departments that serve the recreational and academic needs of our students, faculty, and staff members. That high level of collaboration is also evident in our most recently announced project, the university's first ever public-private housing initiative, on the 14.5-acre Cardinal Court site just northwest of the campus. This 896-bed apartment-style complex will replace most of the housing spaces vacated through the decommissioning of Atkin-Colby and Hamilton-Witten residence halls. Illinois State will not pay any costs associated with financing or constructing the complex, but will manage the facility with an array of student support services parallel to those offered in our current residence halls. While we will not be building more traditional residence halls, we have used our campus long-range housing and dining plan to renovate 5 current facilities, with only Watterson Towers remaining to complete this impressive project. We now offer campus housing and dining options that are truly unique among our peers. The redesigned and updated Watterson Dining Commons opened this semester to the delight of East Campus residents and students, faculty, and staff. I expect a bit of competition between the dining centers and lots of movement as our campus moves around sampling each of the many new choices. In the middle of all this is Bowman Student Center, which is also being revitalized to attract campus and community visitors. I hope you've had a chance to visit Einstein Brothers Bagels, relax in the Atrium Lounge, enjoy the quiet of the Courtyard Garden, or attend programs in the newly remodeled Prairie Room, just 4 of the areas that have had a transformative impact on Bowman Student Center. In cooperation with Illinois Wesleyan University and Advocate Bowman Healthcare, Illinois State University faculty and staff members now have a new option for childcare with the opening of the new Rogies Learning Place. Located at the corner of Main and Harris in Normal, the 13,000 square foot center offers special programming and amenities for children of our faculty and staff. As we continue to create a more attractive environment, we must continue to work to build and maintain a more sustainable environment. Through the work of our sustainability coordinator, Enid Cardinal, the Green Team, student organizations, and many collaborative campus and community-wide partnerships, we have been very successful. A few examples. Following considerable research and planning, Illinois State is expanding its composting operations at the University Farm to accept food waste from non-residential entities in the community. Another initiative, Good to Go, is an ongoing community-wide project of WGLT and ISU sustainability designed to encourage healthy lifestyles and promote the use of alternative transportation instead of driving alone. The initiative's primary event is a commuter challenge, a friendly competition between individuals, teams, and workplaces. During this week, participants track and report their commutes online. First challenge was held the week of September 13th through the 17th. Through the generous support of the Office of the Provost, I don't know that I've ever heard the word generous and support in the same sentence. Generous and provost in the same sentence. But the Office of the Provost sponsored a summer workshop series, including a 2-day session on integrating sustainability across the curriculum. Participants learned about the core components of sustainability and explored a variety of ways to infuse sustainability into new and existing courses. In July, an official Office of Sustainability was formed. With this step, the university has gone from 1 full-time staff member to an office with 2 full-time members and 2 graduate assistants dedicated to furthering sustainability at Illinois State. The staff in the Office of Energy Management has been working hard to improve energy and water efficiency of campus operations. The evidence of these efforts to the university have been shown with a reduction in natural gas consumption of 8.5% as compared to our 4-year average. Finally, in 2006, Illinois State was among the first universities to sign on to the Sustainable University Compact. In August, the governor's office unveiled a new version of the compact, and on September the 10th, I signed a document once again making Illinois State one of the first signatories. To close my remarks, as the 2010-11 school year unfolds, I hope you'll take an opportunity to take advantage of all that Illinois State has to offer, academically, culturally, athletically, and socially. We have produced an outstanding fall speaker series. This year's homecoming features more than 50 events, culminating in a huge gathering at Uptown Normal's new Marriott Hotel, and Redbird Athletics promises excitement and welcomes your support. There is no doubt, though, that you will continue to be flooded with information about the state's dismal economy and how Illinois public universities are drowning in an ocean of financial despair. It is true, we're all in the same ocean, and its waves create a heightened sense of anxiety. But to continue this analogy, I want to stress that at Illinois State, we have a solid ship and a plan for navigating this challenging environment. Because of your patience, your passion, and especially your hard work, we have withstood and we will continue to make good progress. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, President Bowman. And President Bowman will be happy to answer a few questions, and there are microphones in either aisle, so if you have a question, please go to one of the microphones so everyone can hear you. And you may have noticed in a previous issue of the faculty staff newsletter, you were also offered the chance to email questions, so while people are getting their courage up to go to the microphones, I'll read a couple of those. And the first one is, will faculty staff get a chance to use the new recreation center? And second, are you worried about the SERS pension system?
Okay. The last one is a loaded question. Before I answer those two questions, I want to introduce a long-term friend and mayor of the town of Normal, Chris Coos. I apologize, Mayor. Would you please stand? Mayor's been a longtime partner of the university, and we appreciate you coming today. We'll start with the tough question on SERS. The pension systems desperately need leadership in Springfield, and I have no doubt that many of those issues will be addressed after the November election. It's clear that additional reform measures will have to be taken, but I remain reassured that pension benefits are constitutionally protected in this state. Obviously, it's something that we're all concerned about. But I think we can expect to see changes in the future, but at the end of the day, those benefits are protected by the Constitution. In terms of the rec center, though, the rec center will be available to obviously students, but also faculty, staff, annuitants, and there will likely be room for a small number of alumni from the community. We can't open it up to every Illinois State graduate in the community because I don't think the facility could accommodate those numbers. But we want to be a good neighbor to our other recreation facilities in the community. But it will be available to everyone on campus. Faculty, staff, and annuitants, of course, will have to pay a charge. You'll see some information about what those charges will be in the near future. But it's going to be a nice facility. You're not going to let me off that easy, are you? Make the guy earn his salary.
Al, I've got a two-part question, one about construction and one about destruction. One about construction relates to the master plan. I know we've gone through a couple of good public hearings on it. We're in the process of responding to things via email with respect to the survey. I was curious as to where we stand now with respect to the master planning process. That's the construction part. The destruction part is those of us on the west side of the quad have seen a lot of things happen over the past few months, and we're curious as to the Atkin-Colby complex and when we might see some destruction in that particular location.
You know, I may go down in history with 2 records, lost more state support than any other president in history, and tore down more buildings than any other president in history. And the second one is one I'm proud of. We will use Hamilton, Whitten, Atkin, Colby for the 2011-2012 academic year. So next academic year, that will be the last time students live in that facility. We'll decommission the building at that point. We can't use it after January 1, 2013. And then we'll begin to make a decision. We'll begin to think about when the building will be demolished. There's obviously some expense involved in demolishing buildings of that size, but that will have to happen. I just don't have a timetable. We haven't made a decision on what might go in that location, but those ideas are part of the master planning exercise, and that exercise is continuing to move forward. And if you have ideas, the website is still open, and you can submit any suggestions you might have. But there are lots of ideas for what might go there. I've not heard School of Communication yet. That's right, you're already a school. Let's take the next step. I think the provost is taking notes. Now, the first year I did this, I got questions on raises. You're shaking your heads like, well, what about raises? No one asked it, so I'm not going to answer it. Thank you for coming today, and if there are issues that you did not get addressed, you can always send me an email, and if I don't have an answer, we'll get you an answer. Thank you again for all the hard work. We have a lot to be proud of at this institution. I sometimes feel like I'm bragging. I'm just telling the truth. We're in a different place than many other public universities, not only in this state, but around the country. And the good work that we've been doing over the last 15, 20 years is paying off today, because the future going forward will be far more competitive with far less state support than we've ever seen in the past. But I think we're ready, and I think we're going to do extremely well. I think you'll be happy to be part of this institution for a long, long time, and I know I plan to be part of it as well. Thank you.